Good afternoon, guys, and happy Thursday to all of your sunshiny faces, guys. I ended up not getting quite as much done today as I wanted to, and there's like a hair from my bangs. Honestly, guys, it's kind of driving me crazy because sometimes there's like some hair that like I can't actually like get pulled up in the bun, or I missed or something like that, and then it like winds up like all up in my face, and it's a little annoying. And they're like long hairs too, so it'll be like one little like piece somewhere. And so I got them all like tied behind my ear, like pulled back behind my ear, not tied behind my ear. Yeah, anyways, so yeah, I didn't get as much done today as I wanted to. I didn't end up editing today. That was the only thing, only because well, the Cubs game was on earlier today, like in the afternoon, and I don't know how or why I ended up totally spacing out. I knew yesterday, I was like, oh, the Cubs game's on it, like I think it was a noon game or something like that, and they haven't had that many like day games. Most of them have been in the afternoon, like late too. Normally they're like at 7 o'clock, so the games go until pretty late. Like they haven't had a lot of like 5 o'clock start times and stuff like that. But again, this season's so weird. It's, you know, like, I guess kind of acceptable. So, like, whatever. But they haven't had a lot of day games. Whereas, like, normally in, like, spring and summer and stuff like that, it's a lot of day games. You know, there's actually, I feel like there's less, I don't know, maybe it's an equal balance, but like I'm just used to watching them more during the day than I am like in the afternoon. So the fact that like a lot of the games this season seem like they've been like afternoon games is kind of weird. So anyways, I missed that today, which normally I will like watch the Cubs game a lot of times and edit at the same time, or you know, and try and get something else done. Didn't end up doing that because I missed the game, and I don't know how either too. I got like a couple ESPN notifications, but whenever I checked them, it was just like, oh, see how the Heat are handling the playoff pressure or something like that, like, you know, for basketball. And I was like I never actually saw the notifications where I was like, Cubs are down, which they ended up losing, I guess, like 7-0 or something. You know, so I never ended up seeing any of those notifications from ESPN, because that's normally how I like get the updates, and they'll be like, game starting, you know, like here's the first, you know, the first score, you know, they'll update like, you know, at the third, like they update every 3 innings. So you know, I was, like I said, looking for that and never ended up seeing anything. You know, and like I said, I had my phone next to me while I was uploading, and then, you know, I could have watched the game at the same time, and I don't know how I ended up missing it. So yeah, that was the first thing that I ended up not doing, because then I would have ended up uploading later and not, but I did wind up actually getting up early today too, so that might have been why. Like I woke up actually maybe around 9 o'clock, which isn't super early, but like yesterday, it's been every other day, guys. Monday, I think it was, I woke up late, then Tuesday I woke up early, yesterday I woke up late, then today I woke up early again. So I'm tired and ready to go to bed, and it's just about midnight right now. So yeah, but I didn't end up, like I said, didn't edit today, uploaded. And I did do dishes this morning while I was making my breakfast. And then I actually, my mom got some washing machine cleaner, because yeah, you're supposed to wash your washing machine. I didn't really realize that. And so our washing machine has like, you know, like I've kind of kept like the rim and stuff like that clean, and like I'll clean the top and the lid and stuff like that, but like the actual drum of the washing machine, like there's special like stuff for that. And I knew that Tide had some, but you don't hear about it like all that often. Like, I don't know, like it's not, and it's not like advertised either as like as common of a thing as like laundry detergent and stuff like that. I even know too that, like, you know, and I've heard and seen like the commercials, which they do have dishwasher cleaner, I think, too, and there's ways to clean your dishwasher, and I've even seen those hacks on like Pinterest. I've never seen anything about the washing machine, and so my mom found some of this washing machine cleaner stuff actually for a really good price, and she picks them up, and I was like, oh, that's smart, because I was just recently was like, we probably need to wash that. Like, you know, with the Tide washing machine stuff, and I didn't really realize how often you're supposed to do it either, or anything like that. So again, ended up getting the that cleaner stuff and ended up doing it today. So the whole washing machine looks all nice and clean too, and I'm sure it will do a better job of actually cleaning the clothes as well. So anyways, you know, and we won't wind up getting like smelly stuff or anything like on the clothes, which I mean, because I don't know, we use pretty strong detergent, and I don't like overly use detergent either. I'm pretty frugal with my detergent, but our clothes still smell like really fresh. But I know that obviously like buildup and stuff like that, you know, keep your washing machine maintained and all of that. But as far as like clothes go, like our clothes don't smell because of the washing machine, you know, or like, you know, there's residue and stuff like that on them that they should be clean and they're not. So anyways, I ended up doing that though today, which was my first time. I was reading the directions on how to do it and all of that stuff. So yeah, ended up doing that today. That was kind of my extra little thing, but because of it I didn't wind up getting to any like laundry or anything like that, because obviously the washing machine was going and it was running hot water for like 2 hours, you know, and whatever different cycles it ends up doing. But it goes for like 2 or 2.5 hours. It's kind of a long process. I was kind of surprised. And so yeah, and then I just threw that stuff in there, and you know, like I said, guess it all got pretty nice and tidied up in the washing machine. So anyways, that's something though that has to be done apparently once a month. And yeah, didn't really know that. But then in the afternoon, the only other thing I was able to get to was my my grocery list. So I made my grocery list. Honestly, it doesn't seem like there's all that much stuff going on this week. I made my freezer dinners too, from the stuff I bought from last week. I made those earlier in the week as well. I made freezer chicken noodle soups. I did 3 batches of that. Then I ended up doing 2 salsa chickens and 1 barbecue chicken, because I had 6 chicken breasts to make freezer dinners out of. So that's what everything ended up turning into for this week. But there wasn't, Aldi had a pretty good sale on ground beef. The 73% lean was like $1.59, which actually is a pretty really good price, I feel like. But I need to start going through the freezer, and it's not even so much that I need to use up the freezer dinners that I have. It's more I need to, I honestly right now I'm kind of at a loss. I don't know what else to make with ground beef, sort of. I've got 3 batches of, I think 3 or more maybe batches of shepherd's pie in the freezer, minus the potatoes, just like the meat part, already pre-made and just ready to be cooked. And then I have several sloppy joes, taco mix, like those are normally my go-tos, and maybe 1 or 2 other things, but I don't really know what else to do with ground beef. And so I was like, that's a good price, but that, and on top of it too, we don't have all that much room in the freezer, so we need to start going through and figuring out some of the stuff that we can start using up. And it's not even so much for the freezer dinners that are in there that are taking up space, it's other things. I was actually, after I ended up making myself dinner for tonight, I was like, I'm gonna have a smoothie and I'll use up some of the frozen berries that I know are out in the freezer. And again, I spaced out, didn't end up doing that. So I was like, well wait, no, making my grocery list is more important right now. And then I ended up kind of forgetting about that, because then I was like, oh, I have to remember to make my grocery list. And so yeah, then that ended up not happening. But like I said, there's several things that I'm like, I need to get out of the freezer and make into, again, like freezer dinners, and not freezer dinners, and we just need to use and like, you know, use stuff up. Because the only thing that I was really gonna get dinner wise, as far as like things that can be made for dinners, is Valley Produce had a good deal on Jack's pizzas, which Jack's pizzas are my mom's favorite apparently. They were 5 for $10, so they're $2 each, which is normally a really good price for frozen pizzas. And so normally October is the time that pizzas go on sale, and normally it's because of Halloween. And so that's probably one of the best times to get frozen pizzas. So I want to stock up and get 5 of them, because they're a limit of 5. So I want to get 5 of them and do them for, you know, and just leave them out in the freezer. Because I think we have 2 other small frozen pizzas. We have one from Jewel, then we have a bigger, like a bigger, more expensive, like thin crusted specialty sort of pizza. And so I figured I could actually wind up turning all 5 plus the 4 I have in the outside freezer, I could turn those into 3 basically dinners, because we normally wind up doing 3 pizzas at a time when we do frozen pizzas. So I was like, that's perfect. We have, you know, we'll have 3 dinners, you know, ready. And then on top of that too, like I said, I made 6 freezer dinners this week. You know, like, it's not that big of a deal. And then I also got chicken Kiev last week and a handful of other things. I have a whole big thing of frozen chicken breast out in the freezer too, because we got that from Jewel last week. So there was a bunch of stuff, like I said, that's out in the freezer that I kind of need to use and figure out what to do with and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, like I said, we're running out of space in the freezer, guys. This is getting a little serious right now. So yeah, and then we're gonna go to all the grocery stores tomorrow, except for Aldi we'll go to on Sunday, and Menards we most likely will go to in the later afternoon, probably tomorrow, because my dad has to work again. So yeah, nothing too crazy or big. It doesn't seem like planned for this week, but there's some good deals on produce stuff, and then yeah, just some stuff here and there. But I'm, like I said, kind of like freaking out a little bit, just because I'm like, okay, well, I want to get these pizzas because it's a really great price for pizzas, like one of the cheapest price probably that I'll see throughout the year. So I want to obviously get some of them, and I'm like, don't know if we'd have room. Like, we have a chest freezer and a refrigerator or freezer that's attached to the refrigerator. We're still like out of room, guys. We still just barely, like, putting those 6 freezer dinners in there today. I was like, yeah, let's see if we can shove these in here and make sure the lid still closes on the chest freezer outside. So again, we need to use up the things that we have. So like I was telling you guys too, I think there's a pack, like a 10 pack or something like that, of like stinking Hot Pockets that we got at Aldi. And this was when Matthew was still here, and I was like, oh, that's a really good, like, you know, lunch and stuff like that, like him and Jack can heat them up and stuff like that. Apparently Jack doesn't like Hot Pockets. I was like, dude, you're weird. Like, when I ate meat, I used to sting and love Hot Pockets. Anyways, so yeah, he won't eat them. Matthew's back at school. I was like, now we have this huge box of Hot Pockets, and my dad and mom are like maybe the only 2 people that will probably eat them. But then too, like, my dad's really weird about like he doesn't go out of his way to make himself like food. Like, he'll be like, oh, I really want to try this kind of soup, or I really want to try this thing, or, you know, like, just like I was telling you guys, my convenient foods, you know, that kind of stuff. Like, he's always like, oh, I want to get this, or I want to try that, and then we get it, and then he never remembers that he has it, and will never eat it. And then always too, like, his go-to, like, right, so we come home normally on Saturdays. We are out at the grocery store, and we come home because, like, my dad will just have like a protein bar or something like that in the morning, or maybe just coffee. We come home maybe around sometime between 10 and noon or something like that, right? So then my dad's normally like sort of ready for lunch at that point. His go-to is always to make himself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Always. And I'm like, why can't you, like, have some, you know, something frozen? Use up some of our frozen things. Eat the Hot Pockets. Eat the, you know, eat the can of soup that you ended up, you know, saying that you really wanted to try, or something like that. Like jambalaya or something like that too. Like, I think there's a Progressive brand jambalaya. My dad's like, oh, I'll definitely eat that if you get that kind. And I'm like, okay. Like, every time he says that, I'm like, no, I'm just gonna get the thing I know will be eaten, because sometimes it's just stuff that winds up then sitting in the pantry, and again, he doesn't, like, there's no forethought. I'm sometimes a little bad with that, but I'm not that bad. Like, I have sort of a go-to of things that, again, I like to go to. 2 days in a row I've been having my chickpea avocado salads. But again, that uses up the cans of chickpeas in the cabinet, you know. And then the other night I ended up having risotto, which is like an instant sort of risotto. And, you know, so again, there's like some things that I'm like, I will wind up eating these things, but, you know, and I will remember sometimes I have them. Sometimes if I don't have time to, you know, like sit around to wait to make XYZ, then I will just normally like straight go and get whatever I need to eat and stuff like that. But as far as, you know, like I said, like more convenient foods too, like I'll have instant, you know, mac and cheese, boxed mac and cheese, like the Annie's brand macaroni and cheese. Like, I really like that, and I'll eat normally like a whole box of mac and cheese just by myself, like for a lunch or something like that, or maybe even dinner. But you know, like, so sometimes, you know, I will do that, but normally it's my go-to. And, you know, again, sometimes I have things that I can make faster, or, you know, that have to be take longer, so it depends on how hungry I am, but that's normally what winds up determining what I'm going to eat. And so maybe it's sort of with my dad, but I feel like just warming up a can of soup, like that probably takes actually less time and less thought than making yourself a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like just throwing it in a bowl and putting it in the microwave, like to me that seems like less time. Me, I don't like my soup warmed up in the microwave. I have to do it on the stove top, but still that's only like 5 or so minutes, and I only have to go and check it like maybe twice and stir it, you know, so I can be doing something else. Whereas, you know, like I said, making a peanut butter and jelly seems like it takes longer, but I need to start like pushing food off on people. I was telling you guys about the chicken fries or whatever it was that we had in the freezer. That was like, you know, one day, maybe that was Monday or something like that, that I was like, okay, people eat like frozen foods and stuff like that. And again, my dad's go-to is probably that night to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich instead of something frozen or something in the pantry that needs to be, you know, eaten or whatever. So yeah, it's a little frustrating when, again, like Matthew probably, he normally, like, if he's hungry, he would go to the freezer first to go and look for something. And yeah, apparently my dad is not that type of person. It's always a sandwich with him. And like then he complains too sometimes that he gets sick of sandwiches. I'm like, then quit making yourself them. Especially too, like if you take sandwiches for lunch, like then when you're home, have something that you can be made, you know, because he doesn't always have access to a microwave. You know, I was like, well then when you're home and have access to a microwave, then make something that's frozen, or, you know, a can of something that, you know, can be warmed up, you know. So again, that's just sometimes, you know, sometimes he will be good and just do leftovers, but then sometimes too, him and Jack are the worst. They complain about it. They're like, well, and Matthew too is really bad. I'll have leftovers if somebody heats it up for me. I was like, how hard is it to just pour some leftovers on a plate and put it in the microwave? I was like, you guys want me to like spoon feed you too? Like, it's sometimes really frustrating. Like, I don't know, like, you know, is it just a man thing too? Because like, it's all three of them. Like me and my mom will heat up ourselves leftovers and don't ask like, oh, can somebody heat me up some, you know, leftover pasta from yesterday's dinner, you know, or something like that. Like, she doesn't ever ask that. Like, I don't normally wind up asking people like, oh, can somebody warm up my food or something like that. Like, no, normally it's only the three of them. So I don't know if they're just extra lazy. It's a guy thing. It's, you know, like they just, you know, and they're not super busy either when they ask like that. So I don't know. Anyways, guys, I need to go get in the shower and get to bed. I'll see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshine faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.